right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking. This is our weekly public speaking masterclass where we talk about public speaking. We pull back the curtains. We talk about how to do it, when to do it, and where to do it. And tonight we are going to have a conversation about where to do it, about how to fire up your 2021 virtual speaking calendar. Things have changed. Now, I usually do this particular discussion once a year because things do change. How do you get more speaking engagement? But this year, the first year, we're talking about how do you get those virtual engagements. Now, we're going to do a few things. We're going to identify what are those virtual opportunities. And then we're going to identify who in the room here has an opportunity. Because I know some of you have podcasts, and some of you have radio, and some of you have other, you're involved in other networking groups that have speakers. So we're just gonna open up the opportunities that we're gonna share. I'm gonna talk to you about sharing. I'm gonna talk to you about swapping. I'm gonna talk to you how to leverage those speaking opportunities. So you make sure that you get what you need, but also that you share those opportunities with others, because we know what we give, we get, right? Tenfold, always. And sometimes people are a little like, they kind of like hogging it all up for whatever reason, or they don't even think about it. It's like, they don't even think about it. They go along their day to day and then they go, oh yeah, I have a group. Oh yeah, you can speak in my group. Oh yeah, I have a podcast. Oh yeah, now sometimes the audience isn't right for all of us, but oftentimes it can be. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey Karen, you're like little. Where are you? You're so far away. Ooh, you're little tiny there. Okay. Hey Lisa, I made you co-captain. Hi Kimberly, welcome back. It's been a while. Welcome. All right, so we're going to get started. So the first thing we're going to do now, who would like to be my scribe and write these down? Because we're all going to brainstorm. There's Lisa. Who will write these down for me and then put them in the chat? Angelique, thank you so much. Next job we'll give to CJ. All right, so we are going to brainstorm, and I want all of you to yell it out. Angelique's going to write them down, and then when we're all done, she'll put them in the chat. Because some of us know of common things and some of us know of unique things. So this is a collaborated community of information. So when I speak of where do you go to speak in the virtual world, who can give me an answer? Just give me one at a time. Don't hog it all up, but give me one answer. Where can we go? Yes, Dr. Renee.
LinkedIn.
Where?
LinkedIn?
You mean like what? LinkedIn Live or just a post?
Okay. No, if you actually connect with people one at a time, I make it a challenge for myself to reach between, let's say, 75 to 82 people per day. And I chunk out a bunch of time where I'm just direct messaging in LinkedIn way. And I do this with Facebook as well. So there's a dialogue that I create.
Okay.
And you said I'm not going to hog up the time. So,
okay, so
that's my point.
I'm sorry, Dr. Renee, I was not clear. When you think of live speaking engagements, virtual speaking engagements,
right,
where you're speaking, that's what I want you to brainstorm on right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, you're talking about posts and not live. If you're talking about LinkedIn Live, where you're talking
No, I'm creating relationships with people who are event planners in a company. They'll come call, and then we create a relationship. They say, oh, you're talking about relationships, or how to create relationships in business relationships. So I connect that. Then they have me speak to like 80 to 100 people or 200 people on their platform. Okay. Is that what you like right now? Really, we're talking on COVID? On Zoom?
I'm more generic, okay? What you're talking about is how to get the speaking engagement. I'm first talking about what are they? Like webinars, podcasts.
Oh, that's what I'm looking for, right? Okay, so podcasts. Is that the question? The answer is podcast. Thank you.
You're going deeper, so hold that because that's the next question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how do we
do that? I'm complete. Thank you.
Well, you're just so advanced.
Podcast.
Ahead of all of All right. Thank you, Dr. Reed.
You're welcome. Podcast.
What else?
Thanks.
So we've got webinars and podcasts. What else? Where else?
Facebook Live.
Where?
Facebook Live.
Yes, Facebook Live. Write that down. What else?
And Instagram Live.
Instagram Live, Instagram TV. Very good.
I think there's a LinkedIn Live too, isn't there, RV?
There is a LinkedIn Live, but you do have to apply for it. I've applied a couple of times and I still don't have it online yet. So I don't know what I have to do, but you do.
Oh, there's another one, RV, called Clubhouse. Have you heard of Clubhouse?
I have not. Now see, that's very cool. We will all check out Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, and then StreamYard is another one.
Well, wait a minute. Now I want to be clear on that, okay?
Yeah.
All right. StreamYard, and if that's what Clubhouse is, that's not a speaking platform. What that is you speak on one platform and you spread it to the others, all right? Which is very important, but we're still at the beginning level. Where do we go to speak? Okay, but keep that in mind. That's how, okay, I do an interview with CJ, and then we're doing the interview, let's say, you know, we do it on StreamYard, but with the intention that we're posting it. But still, what I'm looking for is that's an interview, right? It's an interview. It's not StreamYard, it's an interview. We're just gonna put it on StreamYard, just like you could put it on Be Live if you wanted to, you know, which is a little different platform. So again, first we're talking about speaking engagements, then we can talk about platforms, then we can talk about leverage, how do we get them, and what do we have to share? Okay, so far, what do we have?
We have podcasts, webinars, Facebook Live, Instagram Live and TV, LinkedIn Live, Clubhouse, and interviews.
Perfect. All right, Clubhouse is probably more like a StreamYard.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I can take that.
Okay. All right, CJ. You're muted. Why are you muted?
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
I'm using one recently called Twitch.
Oh yeah.
Heard of that.
Twitch.
What is that?
It is a live streaming platform. And my second to last podcast episode was all about it. I can provide a link to that somewhere for you.
Please do. All right, so that's another platform, just like StreamYard and some of the other things. But what I'm looking for now is where do you go to, where are the speaking opportunities?
Right.
That would be an interview.
This would be similar to a Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube.
Okay.
It's one called Twitch. Yeah. And I know what you mean. Arvee is right now trying to distinguish the place where it gets posted and watched from software that you can use to post it and go live.
Right, which I want to know, but we'll do the fundamentals.
Correct.
And then all of you techies, I want to know all of it. Okay.
StreamYard and the other one you just said, those are the softwares. And we're talking about the destination right now.
Yes.
Which is Twitch, by the way, is a great destination.
It's a great destination.
I'm going to throw one out, which you wouldn't think at my age, but you're going to laugh at me. I haven't done it yet, but one of my coworkers, I've been working at this warehouse picking up all the time, and he's talking me into it. TikTok.
There you go.
You can make money appearing. Well, Rumble the same way. If you haven't heard of Rumble, Rumble is the new competitive for YouTube. And you can monetize all of these ones. And if you get X number, obviously you got to get a lot of views. But if somebody picks up whatever you're doing and they like you and they're sharing it there, you get enough, I guess TikTok will actually send you a check. And
Wow,
They
really?
have the creator fund.
yeah,
It's called the creator fund. Yeah. My son's
Wow, see how you guys know all this stuff? Yeah. All right, well, TikTok is one of them. Yeah, they're real short, but TikTok is one of them. Put that down. What else?
I don't think we said YouTube yet.
We have not said YouTube. Very good. Videos on YouTube.
Oh, RV, when
Yeah.
you said short on TikTok, when you say short, what is short? Like 2 minutes? 5
No,
minutes?
15 seconds.
Seconds?
oh no, you can go longer.
You
Oh,
could
you
do
can go
one-
60.
Hello, you could do one for 60 seconds. So 15 seconds or 60, but for 60, you have to have so many viewers, do you not? Angela?
No. No, you need 1,000 for 60. Anybody can do 60. You need 1,000 followers to go
See?
live.
That's
'Cause
what
you
I'm
can
saying.
have
That's what I'm
live.
talking about. You need
Yeah.
1,000 followers.
So a trick that people use all the time on TikTok to get to those 1,000 followers is literally make a video going, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. Can you help me out? I'm not kidding you. It works every time.
Okay,
I've
well,
seen it
there
work.
you go.
I've seen it. It's crazy.
There you go. Okay. All right. What else? So we got TikTok. What else? We got
Mention
YouTube.
YouTube, get Rumble. Put Rumble down.
Rumble, is that
Rumble.
a platform or is that an actual place to speak?
That's where you can go. It's like YouTube. Rumble is the alternative of YouTube right now.
Okay, well, there's also Vimeo, but when we say YouTube, we're just gonna say videos, all right? Videos, and we can put the video on YouTube, on Rumble, or on Vimeo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot
Is
of
it Vimeo like PayPal?
That's
Is it-
Venmo.
Oh,
It's Venmo, yeah.
oh,
Vimeo,
thank
Yeah.
you.
Vimeo, Vimeo.
Okay, thank you.
There's a lot. Okay, what else?
I'm so confused. Okay, Venmo.
Kinda
Okay.
cute.
Well, just put
Okay.
it on YouTube because the majority of the people go to YouTube anyway.
So true.
Just put it on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, and
Okay.
Google owns YouTube, and there's a nice relationship there. All right, where else can you go? Well, no one said anything about networking meetings, which is the biggest opportunity where you're really going to be able to shine.
How
I mean,
about
we
Toastmasters?
What?
Toastmasters?
Okay, yes, you can put Toastmasters, but the problem with Toastmasters is it's not going to get you clients. They have a regimented type of speeches, and it's really just to, primarily teach you how to get over the fear of speaking, but they never really tell you how to sell from the platform or how to build rapport or how to get clients or generate leads. That's not their job. But that's the beginning. That's what I call kindergarten compared to what we're doing here. So we always graduate from kindergarten, right? We don't stay there.
How about radio?
Radio.
Radio. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Radio. Very good. And of course, if you're lucky enough, television.
So, Arvee, didn't you do a radio show with Eric Lofholm? Was that a radio show, in your opinion?
Well, no, he's calling it a radio show. No, it's a Facebook Live show.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, a radio show is when you're on FM, AM. I mean, there's blog talk radio, but who listens to it? Let's face it. Who here has ever listened to a blog talk radio station on a regular basis? Right. I've only been on them. I've been on half a dozen of them. But nobody listens to them. You're better off with podcasts now. Maybe years ago they were popular, but now it's podcasts. Podcasts were popular, then they dropped a little bit, and now they're, COVID and everything, they're just exploding. So, yeah, so podcasts. Okay, but yeah, if you can get on TV or know somebody on TV, again, we're not talking about cable TV. To me, blog talk radio is cable TV to TV. It's there, it's free, but who watches it? If you know people that watch it or can get them watching it, great. But for the most part, people don't stumble upon your blog talk radio or your cable. And how do I know? I've been on cable. I used to do an interview on cable years ago, before podcasts and before all, social media, believe it or not, and cable was at its prime, but there really wasn't a lot of people watching. I didn't get any clients from it, and I did it for several months. Let's put it that way. You want to try things. If you're not getting clients, if you're not getting some visibility, then try something different. Don't keep banging your head against the wall trying to make it work. Now, the best thing that I know that works, which I always share with all of you, is going to those networking meetings and speaking at the networking meeting. I just spoke at an organization networking meeting, and I got 3 people to sign up for my March event And March 10th is my next Speak Up, Get Clients event. You all need to come. If you're in my mastermind, you can come for free. If you've been before, you can come for free. And CJ, we need to talk about you doing the music. So there. So yeah, most of you have gone in the past, so you can, come on over and go again for free. Just reach out to me and let me know. All right, so I'm looking at my calendar. So so those are the best events, the live networking events that aren't live, that are virtual now, right? Those are the ones you want to put number one on the list, because they're the ones that are going to get you that visibility, where a podcast people are just going to hear. They're going to see you. They're going to hear you. Also, not only did I get 3 people that signed up, I got 4 strategy sessions, and there were only 9 people there. That's
Wow.
pretty darn good. Yeah. So
Wow.
4 strategy sessions. Yeah. So, and I'm, in the midst of, doing those, and then we'll see, what business comes out of it. So that's the best one you're ever going to find, is those live networking events. All right. So what have we got on our list?
So number 1, we have networking meetings, webinars, Facebook Live, Instagram Live and TV, LinkedIn Live, Twitch, interviews, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, podcast, Toastmasters, radio, TV. Could we put on there the multiple day events, like an event that you're like the full day event that you're putting on that's not a webinar?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Guest speaker at a live event, at an event. Yeah.
Live event.
It's not a networking event, but you've been actually asked to speak. Now, there's a couple things that aren't on there. One of them is an interview, and that could be an interview for a podcast. It could be interview for Facebook Live show.
Oh, we have interview.
Do you have interview? Okay. Then the next one, there was one more, and I hope it'll come back to me, but there's interview, and then there was one more that wasn't on the list that's a good one. Okay, well, it'll have to come back to me. All right, but there's lots of things on the list, lots of places that you can go. So now let's talk about some of those platforms that we were talking about earlier. So Vimeo is a platform, YouTube is a platform, but YouTube, the reason why we say YouTube instead of video is it's kind of like a household name. Now, how many of you remember Ajax? The powder, right? We used to call everything Ajax, and just like we call everything Kleenex. But Kleenex is a brand name, but we'll call any tissue Kleenex even today. Is that true or true?
True.
Right? Well, that's kind of like what YouTube is when we're talking about speaking on YouTube. We're really talking about speaking on a video platform, but we're just using YouTube. So video platform is what we'll call it. And then underneath that, we can say YouTube, we can say Vimeo, we can say Rumble, right? So those are at least 3 different platforms under there. When we speak of Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, yada, 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 we're really just talking about live stream. And under the live stream, you pick Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, whatever live you want to do. Instagram Live, right? Instagram, because they're all the same kind of thing. And we're putting them up, we're putting them live on a social media platform. So we can say live stream. Got it? Now, Instagram TV, is that live stream? It is. Okay, so that goes under the live stream. Excellent. Then we have like networking groups and all our various kind of networking groups. And then we have events. Oh, I know what the other one was. I knew it would come. Panels. Panels. When you get on, you can get on a panel of experts. That's a great speaking opportunity, sometimes even better than an interview, because you're already deemed as the expert, or you wouldn't be on there. Okay? Sometimes you have to pay for panels. Don't pay too much though, but sometimes you have to pay to even be on a panel. All right, and that's okay. That's okay. All right, so read them all again now.
Networking events. So we have networking events, webinars, Facebook Live, Instagram Live and TV, LinkedIn Live, Twitch, interview, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, podcast, Toastmaster, radio, TV, live events, panels, and then it looks like CJ also has Vimeo on his. So 17.
Are you talking about Vimeo?
Oh yeah, is that Vimeo? I said Vimeo.
Yeah. See, the reason why we don't really count that as a speaking engagement, because technically you could do one video, you load it up to YouTube, then you load it up to Vimeo, then you load it up to Rumble. So it's really one, yeah, one speaking, but we're putting on multiple platforms. That's the same thing that Clubhouse does, and I guess Twitch does, and StreamYard, and there's one more that I just signed up with that starts with an Restream or something like that. But these are all hot. I recommend you pick one and start to play with it and learn about it. Again, so we can do one talk and then have it go out to all these platforms. That's hot. Very, very hot. Okay. All right, so anybody else have any other oh, now, if you'll put all of those, Angelique, in the chat box so everybody can save it. Hello, Benita Joy, welcome. If you could put them in the chat, that'd be great. Now, let's talk about other platforms. We talked about 2 or 3 video platforms, streaming platforms. Are there any other platforms that we should know about?
I don't have platforms, but there's a World Speech Day coming up March 15, and I'm applying for a 5-minute talk. I was on a phone call with some people at Singapore at 7 this morning, and the theme is humanities in the crossroads. And they want a 1 to 2 minute video by this weekend, and then they'll decide who to do. But there's different events like that.
And how did you find out about this event?
I'm on a Friday evening group with Doria Cordova, and somebody there, I think from Singapore, posted it because there's people from Asia who show up. And I was in a networking group today called Top Talent. And it's a free group. There's one more day tomorrow if anybody wants to message me, but and I met some people who are going to have me on podcasts. I think it's because of the puppets, though, different people. But also there was a woman there who provided a whole list of different networking groups kind of like that. And that's how I've been getting on podcasts, is going to these networking groups. But what I need to do is monetize it, because you don't get paid for being on a podcast. I get, visibility, but not paid.
Okay.
You can get paid.
Now, to me, podcasts are not for money, and they're not necessarily for visibility, but they're for leverage. So you want to have a podcast so that you can leverage it and get people on, but you want to get on their podcast. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's when I find that it works well. So for instance, a lot of you probably have seen Eric Swanson on Facebook. He's always talking and stuff. Well, he's going to be on my podcast tomorrow. Why is he going to be in my podcast tomorrow? Not only do I love the man, but he's also got a close connection with Sharon Lechter, who I want on my podcast. Okay, whose birthday is today, by the way. So you use that for leverage. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a good way, in a smart business way. Right? But you gotta have something to bring to the table. So Benita, you will have more success with being on other people's podcasts if you had your own. And there's no reason you can't have your own. Podcasts are not expensive. It's like $150 a year to get on Podbean, but there is one that's free. Everybody write this down. It's called Anchor.com. Anchor, like anchors away. It is absolutely free. You can do them on your phone or you can do them on your computer. It is what?
Free.
You can also use Spotify. You can also use
No,
Spotify.
no. We're talking about the platform that
Yes.
creates.
Yes,
You
that's
put it
that.
up. You put it
Spotify
up.
is a platform. Spotify is like Anchor.
Oh, it is? Well, I
Yes.
don't know about that. All I know is that Spotify is like an iTunes, right? It's like a iHeartRadio where you put an RSS feed to it. I didn't know it directly is a podcast creator.
Okay.
Is that it? Do you have
I
your
was doing one
podcast?
in a while. I didn't trigger it to get, but you can by using that and Anchor, and some of them you can actually monetize them if you're getting the following, but it's getting the, just like TikTok, or it's getting the following to get there.
It's
So-
getting a following, isn't it? Isn't that the truth? All of it's about a following, but you first have to do it in order to build it and build the following. Podcasts are long-term. They're not as quick as speaking. That's why I love, well, it is speaking, but it's not as quick as speaking to a networking meeting or networking live or speaking live. It is,
The
all
dr-
those other things are a lot slower approach, even YouTube and some of those, because it sits there and you have to wait for people to come, or you send out an email and get them to come. But when you're right in someone's face live, there's nothing better. Nothing works better to get clients. Mike,
bigger
you gonna say something more?
The bigger problem with podcasts too these days, unlike 10 or 20 years ago even, is that everybody's doing one. If you go on any of these, Spotify, iHeart, any of them, let's say I want to do a podcast about speaking out of the left side of my mouth or something, whatever I want to call it, there's 20 other people doing the same thing. So you got to find whatever it is about you, and if people like you, you're good, but sometimes it's going to be some trial and error before you figure out what you want.
Okay, so let me say it one more time. Thank you, Mike. It's for leverage, right? You might have a brand new podcast that nobody's listening to, but you might leverage it with someone else that has a very successful podcast.
Right.
Think leverage. Don't think it doesn't work or whatever. I have had a client, somebody that's going to be on my podcast tomorrow, and she's actually a body language expert, right? Body language expert. She goes way beyond further than what I teach for you to do in a speech. She's like teaching you like how you can see if someone's lying, right? Stuff like that. So she heard me on somebody else's podcast that I did not that long ago, maybe 2 months ago, right? It's during COVID, so just a few months ago. She loved it and she contacted me directly. Now she's going to be on my podcast and I'm going to be on her podcast. Bam!
Bam. Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And you do that over and over and over. That's how it works. But when you don't have anything to give, you've cut it in half.
Right.
So Benita, get yourself a podcast.
I'd like to. I have a Zoom account. I have the thing I'm hearing about almost every day is Clubhouse, and I have an invitation, but I don't have an iPhone. And you can host your own room, and people tell me that they're meeting like well-known people in Clubhouse that they never get to talk to otherwise, who show up and do their show, and they have conversations. It sounds pretty fascinating.
Well, now who brought up Clubhouse? Was that Dr. Renee? Yeah. So what do you know about that platform?
Oh, I don't know. Ask CJ. He knows everything.
All right, CJ, what do you know about that platform?
I know what I know, and that's all I know. He's the
Well,
genius.
I know very little, but it sounds like it's a place to do an audio chat where you can live chat with other people, but there's no video. It's an audio only
Right.
type of chat.
Yeah,
Right.
audio only.
No.
So you can be in your pajamas.
And apparently it's in beta, and you have to
Mhm.
have an invitation from another user in order to be able to use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have an invitation, but I don't know if it's worth buying an iPhone for it. But this woman did about a 20-minute Facebook Live on her page about what it was like in Clubhouse. And she spent most of her first 2 days of waking hours on it. Once you got into it, it sounds like you get in, but she was experimenting, and she has won podcast award. She has wickedly smart women, and she won some first place in some award. And so she's really into the whole audio, whatever, and teaches classes on it, but she's really into this Clubhouse. So I can get in it through her if I get an iPhone.
Well, I have an iPhone. You can send me the invitation. I'll check it out.
I'll check it out. I got an iPhone.
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
You know
just
what,
send us your
Benita-
invitation.
Benita- You know what Benita just mentioned that we had totally overlooked in the first part is doing your own Zoom meetings.
Mm.
Doing Zoom meetings.
Well,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
Well, Zoom is a platform. I'm
The
talking
software.
about speaking. Yeah, Zoom we use
But I
for
mean, you could
webinars.
do your own seminar or whatever.
Yeah, live events we do on Zoom, but we could also
Yeah.
go to meeting. That's a platform, but
Yep.
absolutely. Okay, so, all right, so now we did where we can go to speak. Then we did the platforms we can use to speak. All right, so now let's talk about what platforms or places do you have that you're willing to share with a group? All right, so I have a group I'm involved in. Mike was involved in it. It's a Christian group, and I know all of you here are Christians because that's who I attract. Any non-Christians? Jews are okay, but any non-Christians? So I have a Christian group. We meet once a week. Once a month, I have a outside speaker come and speak. So that's an opportunity. You get to speak for about 15 minutes. So if that's something you'd like to know more about, just put it in the chat that you'd like to be considered. I mean, there's so many of you that it would take me a while to get through all of you when I only do one a month. But that's what I'm talking about we're doing here. We are sharing. So if you have a speaking opportunity, a group that you run or a group that you're really involved in, that you think you can get some of us in, that's what we're doing right now, is we're really sharing the opportunity. Also, I have a podcast. If you want to be considered for my podcast, let me know. That too is like a 15, 20-minute interview. Now, my mastermind folks, you're automatically in both those things, so don't even worry about it. I also have my Speak Up, Get Clients stage. If you're interested in 5 minutes on that stage, that's a little more difficult because that means bringing some people with you. But if you want to talk about that, let me know. Now, Jason spoke on that stage, and yeah, Jason's been on that stage several times. But that, now there's different ways to get on people's stages. Some, like my live stage, it means bringing some of your friends. Then you'll get on my stage like that. All right. So some of it is leverage. Yeah, you can be on my podcast. Do you have a podcast for me, or do you have another speaking engagement? It's called a swap. There's called a stage swap out there. If you have a place for people to go, whether it's a podcast or a live event, you can do a swap. I just did a swap with someone the other day. That's the swap that I did. That's where I got the 4 strategy sessions, and oh, no, I got 4 strategy sessions there. I wasn't allowed to sell. And then I got some other people that opted in. So if you bring something to the table, you could do a swap. Otherwise, there's the play to pay model. The girl I did the swap with, she wanted $500 for 15 minutes. And I was going to be speaking at lunch to something like 10 people.
Wow, that's a
Said,
lot.
I know. I said,
Wow, that's a lot, RV. Were you going to do a dance too? That's
lot.
not very nice. $500?
yeah.
Were you
And,
going to dance too? Or no?
no.
That's a
And
joke.
she would get 10% of anything I sold
Whoa.
afterwards. But I'm just telling you, that's what's happening out there, ladies and gentlemen. So you've got to have something to be creative. So I thought I didn't want to pay her the $500 because I didn't know if there was going to be 5 people that showed up. It's a gamble, right? You're throwing the dice. So I said, how about if you come to my event? Stage swap, right? So, and most of you are not going to have physical stages right now, and that's okay. But I want you to start thinking about it. And a stage can be a webinar. So if you're doing a 1-hour webinar, let's say Jackie does a 1-hour webinar on health, right? She could invite one of her colleagues for 5-10 minutes and do a swap. or even ask that person to pay. You've got to be creative. We could talk about that in these sessions. There's money to be made out there. You're not trying to hurt somebody or gouge. You're just trying to have fair play. Okay? All
Arvee,
right.
another
Yeah.
one we haven't mentioned, I don't know, I imagine you probably put it more in the area of leverage, but TEDx is still doing so, because they just had one in Hickory here a couple months ago. I think they're going Zoom now, or going virtual, but TEDx is still going. That gives you, may not make you a lot of money, but it gives you some credibility, and if you're on a TEDx stage.
TEDx not only gives you that credibility, but that's something you could put on your resume, right? Now, you have to be careful. I've been coaching a gal for months and months to do her TEDx talk. She lives in Canada. It is supposed to be in Las Vegas next weekend. She had to cancel because Canada's got really strict rules now about coming back into the country once you leave with COVID and everything. So she had to turn it down because she's afraid she couldn't, get back in, that there would be some sort of hold, and she's got a full-time job and blah, blah, blah. So it's affecting everything. But yeah, if you can get in a TEDx, then you have to audition. And it's a little more complicated, but it is a great thing to have on your resume. So thank you, Coach Mike, for that. Great. So add that. Go ahead and add that, because that's a whole unique, different talk. All right. So who else has some speaking platforms, engagements that they want to share and invite people to? All right.
I have a talk show that is around mindset, motivation, and manifestation that I'm looking for people to be on.
Is that an interview style, and where does it go?
So basically what happens is I record it on StreamYard, and it's with my Grow Your Destiny skin, is what we call it, the skin. And then I put it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Those are the 3, LinkedIn. Those are the 4 that I do.
All right.
And it's for 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute session.
Beautiful. So go ahead and reach out in the chat if that is something that you want more information on. Again, just because you're reaching out doesn't mean she's going to say yes. She's going to interview you to make sure that your topic makes sense on her platform, right? And all of you need to be doing that, because if you're like Jason selling financial planning and he starts interviewing, Jackie about health, well, you could twist it and say, well, I do financial health and you do real health, but it's a stretch because his audience is looking to make money. His audiences are probably, business owners, and they really don't want to hear about taking supplements or something, right? So you have to interview.
Arvee,
Yes, Dr. Renee.
okay, so I have to get going, but I have a what is it called? Dr. Renee's Love-In.
That's right.
On Monday nights at 5 o'clock. You get a lot of my emails every week. So I need speakers and to talk about love and relationship. Like CJ's been married, like from his wife from heaven, because they have such a great relationship and they have a beautiful family. So people who have been married for a long time and what's their success stories. And then people who are single, what's their struggles, what's their, things, challenges that they have during COVID. So I am looking for speakers, and I'm just going to give my phone number out. Is that okay, Arvee? And then I have to
Yes, put it in the
okay,
chat.
so it's just call me and then we'll talk about everything later. I'm just going to give it to you verbally, old school, because I can't type anymore because I have stupid nails. 818-310-0775. Yeah, 818-310-0775. I also do a podcast. Get it? Podcast, because it's love. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Thursday is Thankful Thursday, and everybody wears a little hat, and we could talk about gratitudes for the entire week. So it's about God and just holding God's hand here and Jesus' hand there, and just all about love. So I want to share that with everybody. So you need to call me, and I answer the phone, and you could text me, and I answer your text. I pick up the phone. I get text, I get email.
I can vouch for Dr. Renee. She's the phone person. And thank you so much for
calling
me over the last several weeks to find out about Michael. So
you're welcome. Okay,
Dr. Renee called me, Jason called me, several of you, Angelique and Ardina and Jackie and
bye-bye.
Consistently. So thank you for that. All
You're
right,
welcome,
you
Renee.
have to go,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Renee. We'll
Thank
see
you.
next week.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Love you too. All right. All right.
I've got a-
Anyone else?
I've got a talent show Saturday night. If anybody wants to tell a story or a poem or spoken word or juggle or do a magic trick, it's an experiment. It's going to be through a Facebook live thing, and this guy Zach Bailey in California is doing the technical part. And I'd like to move it to Zoom if we continue. If it goes well, we might do it monthly. But if
So you're looking for like a poet, or, I mean, I know you're going to do your ventriloquist, but you're not looking for regular speakers. You're looking for what, artistic kind of.
well, at this point, more entertainment or edutainment, where if you had like a story or a humor story, and I don't know, you could throw it in because it's evolving. I had told him I wanted to start a monthly talent show, and I had talked with Danella about that. And she talked about, we said, why don't I hire her and we do it on Sunday evenings as a family show. And I happened to mention it. This guy, the first time I met him, and he got all excited and says, well, I've been wanting to have, I don't know, something, and I didn't know what. I thought, well, I'll just do it with him this time and experiment.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And, you can always have open mic night where people come and just do whatever, crazy thing they want to do. But I would say that's away from business, and you're right, more entertainment and just fun and artistic. We don't see too much of that on Zoom. So I love the idea. I love it.
Kind of an Ed Sullivan thing, and I'll have my puppets co-MC, and I'm a little mixed about it being in his group instead of mine, but since he volunteered to do the tech stuff and I didn't have to hire anyone, and it's like, and Danella and I talked about maybe February, I thought I'll just jump in and do something.
Yeah, anytime, even, you're not going to do it on Zoom then?
I brought up, we met today and I brought up Zoom, and he doesn't know how to run it. And he said, if I find somebody to run it, he's fine with Zoom, but he knows the Facebook Live. So what I thought I'd do was put in his group if anybody wanted to volunteer for hosting a Zoom in the future. But
I think you're too early. Just go ahead and do it as a Facebook Live. It doesn't matter, because then you don't have to invite people. You don't have to worry about having a list. You can just leverage your Facebook list and his too. And anybody who's enthusiastic about something, let him take the ball.
Yeah, he was very enthusiastic. And the only thing is, I don't know if I should be forming my own Facebook group or my own group and doing it, or if it matters.
It's too early. Don't worry about that yet.
That's what I
experiment. Yeah. You just don't worry about all that stuff. Just do it.
I have a laughter yoga person and storytellers and a magician and a spoken word person so far. So
bring them all. Good.
But some of you ought to be storytellers. I can't believe that there's a group of 14 people here and nobody has jumped up and said, I can tell a story. Or, it could be a funny story. It could be a serious story with a message. I mean, what are you? You're storytellers, right? If you're speakers.
My life is a story.
Right?
Almost everybody here has taken my training, and they know the 4 stories that they need to have in their speeches. So they just might not be a folk teller, right? Which is different. Yeah. Which is what you want for your kind of avant-garde kind of entertainment.
Yeah, we won't have sales. I don't know, you might have a generic call to action about life, but we won't have blatant sales on it.
No, just have fun. All right, well, let's keep going, because some people we haven't heard from yet today. So Ardina, we haven't heard anything from you. Do you have anything to speak, or questions, or anything?
Actually, on Monday, I'm asked to be a participant in speaking on Martin Luther King. Since we're
Nice.
Cool.
So there's a few of us that, we have a part, and so I'm going to do some artwork. I actually already have something, but just kind of spruce it up a little bit about Martin Luther and just tie it into my business.
Nice. And is Martin Luther King's birthday Monday?
No, but in January we celebrate Martin Luther King's
Okay.
birthday.
Good. Does anybody else have a platform? We heard from Renee, we heard from Angelique. Okay, CJ.
Yes, I lead a weekly networking meeting. It's a virtual networking meeting. We meet every Thursday and Friday. We were very grateful to have Arvee as one of our featured speakers several weeks back in the old year, and it's something that you could attend for free. Just attend and check it out and see what it's all about. And then if you'd like to speak at it, that's a great opportunity for you. So I can share the link to that in the chat box.
All right, perfect. Beautiful. And CJ does an excellent job at running and facilitating the meeting. Excellent.
Thank you. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else have a platform you want to share?
I belong to the Polka Dot Powerhouse group.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they're always looking for speakers, women, empowering women, building business, just lifting up women in any way. Arvee, you know what that group is all about. It's really about women's empowerment, and they're always looking for a speaker to do 20 minutes of speaking as part of their presentation for the meetings. And the group that I belong to now is Polka Dot Powerhouse, the international group.
You have to be a member to speak at your group?
Not necessarily. You can be a guest. I can get more information about that. Yeah, because I don't run them, but I'm part of that group and have submitted my name for speaking at their engagement. So sometimes you book like 3 or 4 months out because they meet once a month. But they have meetings all over the country right now because everything is Zoom. So it's a great opportunity to speak, not just at the international group, but any of the other ones. I can find out more information.
Yeah, if you just find out if they invite outside speakers, because you don't want to be bombarded with people going, oh, I'll speak there, because you're the liaison if they don't even take outside speakers. Some places you have to be a member. And sometimes it's okay, it's inexpensive to become a member, then it's okay. You can become a member just to speak. That's fine too. But sometimes they're expensive, Yeah. And you can't join everything.
No, you can't, but it's a great networking group, and being virtual is wonderful right now because we can speak in Boston and I don't have to leave my Kansas City Chiefs home.
Yay. Now, Coach Mike, do you guys have anything? Where are you speaking these days?
To my dogs. No, I've just been kicking back. I'll speak at our Toastmasters, but I really haven't been pushing anything here. I started a podcast and I thought it pretty good, a cool logo and everything. It was What's Your Beef? And
What's Your Beef?
What's Your Beef? And I was off with a moo. But it wasn't getting traction. I did about 15 episodes and just wasn't picking up traction. And that's okay. So right now I'm in the process of redoing a few of my sites, and then I'll look for there. It's other than that, I've just been taking it easy and getting through everything and arguing with everybody on Facebook about whatever you want to argue about.
Yeah, I see some of that going on. One thing I do want to say about podcasts is that most people do 10 podcasts and then give up because of just what you said. Don't do that. It's consistency and everything is key, whether it's podcasts, whether it's video, whether it's speaking engagements, interviews, whatever it is, consistency is key. So if you're going to do a podcast, you need to keep going. Now, one of the things, I'm just like you, Mike, one of the things I did is I had one podcast. It was a Christian podcast called Speak Your Truth for years, interviewed people, hit and miss, right? But I had like 35, 40 episodes. Didn't do anything, so I trashed it. but it's because I didn't have it linked to all these different places like Spotify and on and on and on. So this time I did a new podcast, The $1 Million Speaker, and I've got it linked to like everything. And I've got a lot of views. There's places that you can find views. I'll have to get it next time. I'll let you know what it is. But what I finally did is I scheduled a time the second Wednesday of every month from 9 o'clock until noon to do 4 podcasts. So I can just take a shower once, get a good hair day once, and I'm good to go because I am putting them up on YouTube. Right?
Arvee, you're always good to go. You're always good to go.
Thank you. Not lately, I haven't been. But, I just do those 4, and then I distribute them once a week. And I find that it's a lot easier, and I'm a lot more motivated to get them done because they're scheduled, and boom, get them done. And then I can schedule people. I'm already scheduled January and February, and people that schedule with me have to start in March already. Because I'm doing 2 for me and 2 interviews. I'm only doing 2 interviews because I want it to be a mixture. And my other one was all interviews, and I would have to wait and find people to interview. This way, I do 2 for me and 2, and you should think about it. You should go and subscribe, find it. It's called The $1 Million Speaker. Last week, I did one called The Good, Bad, and the Ugly about public speaking. Something I haven't shared or talked about here. So go and look for it on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, and just check it out. Pretty fun.
Other than speaking, Arvee, can I say that I wrote 2 books?
Well, yeah, you better.
Yeah.
Since I went there in North Carolina, you wrote 2 books.
Yeah, they're both, well, they're short. They're short. They're on Amazon. One is The Power of an Apology, and the other one is I'm Still Here. And the I'm Still Here started out was going to be about my heart attack and everything, but as the more I was starting to put it down, I started, how many other times in my life, and you could probably all think in all your lives, a close call, like when I was in Phoenix back when I was about 21, 22, my best friend and I totaled a Porsche 914, and the witnesses said our heads were sticking out the top with no seatbelts on. We flew 30 feet. We could have easily been decapitated, but God was watching over us. We're still here. So I started adding some other chapters, and I might do a second one, I already got a little note in there about inviting other people to tell their stories, because how many times have we been that close? One of the stories in the book is a friend of mine named Paul Sterneman, and he was on the 405 freeway one time. He lives in Arizona now, but he was on the 405, and he was jacking up his car to fix a tire, and luckily he was on the right or the left front tire. Another driver skidded, hit the rear of his car. If he had been doing any other tire, he would have been dead. Wow. So anyway, I'm Still Here. That's the other one. And if you don't find it, give me a link. I'll send it to you.
Put your Amazon link in the chat. Okay, so we haven't heard a word from Jason. Jason, what's the word? Anything you want to say or share today? We can't hear you. I don't know why. No, can't hear you. Okay, just smile. Perfect. All right. Jean Reese, we haven't heard from you. How are you doing, gorgeous? Okay, you're muted and we can't hear that wonderful laugh. Okay. Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm trying my best to get started on a book. I have not been successful yet. I have lots of distractions, and that's sort of like par for the course right now. Other than that, I'm working on a small Zoom that I'll do. I had a book club at the beginning of this COVID season. I'd like to call it really a plague, but at this point, I'm working on that because for February, I usually do a gathering and I can't do the gathering and so put it out there and it's sort of what I'm working on also.
Okay. All right. So Lisa, what's going on with you real quick? Lisa has a new hairdo. Looks awesome. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Nothing special, just soaking it all in and just learning from everyone else. I'm still on hold for now as a notary. Not a lot I can do as far as notarizing and staying safe. Some notaries are, but I'm not at this time. So just soaking it all in and letting the seeds be planted.
All right. All right, good. They got to grow. All right, Jean Vox, what's going on? You're just creeping in here at the last minute.
I'm so sorry. I tried to take a short nap and I ended up like way oversleeping.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, everybody. Good to see you.
Well, all we see is a picture of you.
What?
All we see is a picture of you. It's a good picture.
Yeah. For some reason, video isn't working. This is like my thing today. It worked the first one, but I didn't. I have everything down and heard it all up. Okay. But I do have something I'm doing on next Tuesday. A private book reading club that's starting up. I'm going to talk goal mind mapping your book. And so
some Jean Reese you need.
It's a mind mapping exercise that I'm gonna apply writing. It can be used for any type of goal. So I'll share Arvee sometime.
Okay, Jean, you're kind of going in and out and it's really hard to understand you. So if you have,
sorry.
Yeah, you're like, run, run, run. So if you have a link or something, go ahead and put it in the chat. Okay, let's go to Brenda Lewis. Brenda, do you have anything to say?
Nothing much today.
Okay.
I'm just still learning.
Okay, keep learning. And Ruben, how about you?
Yeah, well, in a couple of days, I have a meeting with a friend who has a radio station. So I'm gonna learn, I want him to teach me how to use the equipment, and hopefully by like 2 weeks, I'll be able to start doing some programs, 2 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes programs. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, excellent. Good job. Good job. All right. Does anybody else have anything else to say or share about Jackie?
Jackie, you're muted.
I wish we could hear you.
I thought sure I'd pop that button. Your goal setting really fired me up last week, so thank you for that. And I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and I am putting in everything I say. I'm a speaker looking to speak, but I don't think people always hear that. So I wrote it in the chat box, and I got a lady who connected with me, and I'm going to be doing a little segment. She does a cooking class. So I'm going to be talking about the health benefits of the different colors in her cooking class, kind of co-teaching with her. And then I called the lady who runs the Inland Caregivers Resource. She does classes. And so I said, don't you think your caregivers need some wellness? She said, yeah, that's a good idea. So I booked that in March with her. So just making me set that goal is making me really try to think outside the box. So thank you.
Nice. All right, everyone. Good job. Yes, CJ.
Real quick, I know we're over time. I've got 2 quick resources to share with you, and they're both in the Passionately Speaking Facebook group for you right now. I chuckled when Coach Mike said he did 15 episodes and then quit because it wasn't gaining traction. I just did my 40th episode, Coach Mike, and it's not gaining traction, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway because it doesn't matter. So check out these last 2 episodes. It's so funny this was our topic today because literally the last 2 episodes of my show were the very most recent one, episode 40, is how to use the software I'm using to go live on your own show. And it's the same material I presented to create the frame here a couple weeks ago. I did it as an episode of my show. So that's the software distribution side of it. And then the week before that was all about how I'm using Twitch for live streaming. So that's episode 39. Both of those are available right now for you in the Passionately Speaking Facebook group. Go check those out.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end our call today. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for staying a little bit late today. Thank you all for sharing your speaking opportunities.
Thank you, Arvee.
Are you waving or did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, because you asked, Friday is Martin Luther King's birthday, and it is celebrated on Monday. Okay?
This coming Monday or?
Yes, coming Monday.
Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Give our regards to Michael.
I will. Thank you. I'm going to go see how he's doing right now.
I hope he feels better. Bye.
Karen. All right, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
All righty.
Save the chat.
That's right.
Oh.
Make sure you save the chat before I end the meeting. Let's go on. Going.
Keep you in our prayers.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.